So I've been playing a lot of games recently, and when it comes down to the characterizations that we're seeing giving to the gamers, especially when it comes to the beauty standards that we have for different cultures, I constantly see an underrepresentation of black beauty. And I'm talking about when it comes to female designs and characters, where I'm looking at old character designs from over 10 years ago when we used to get some black female characters where they were absolutely beautiful. Of course, I'm talking about Tanya from MK4. This is the quintessential design of black beauty that you see here, and I think that's the thing that I kind of miss in gaming now recently, where we just don't get this type of character design anymore. I think that's the thing that I miss in gaming now today, especially with all the politics that are being driven into the industry. We don't get the designs that kind of match the beauty standards that we want to be represented of different cultures. And I think ultimately this goes back to something that is applied across all cultures, where there's this devolving of overall looks, especially when it comes to these particular female characters. I remember playing this game a lot and thinking, oh man, they really chose a really beautiful character design for this person. And I think especially when you rarely see these different black female character designs, it made it extra special when you saw one that was absolutely beautiful, like Tanya in MK4. And I think that's the thing that is missing nowadays when it comes to the industry, where we're getting more designs of female characters, which is okay to me, but they're coming out very ugly and distastefully, where I'm looking at multiple different cultures of people, not exclusively black people. I'm looking at Asian people, I'm looking at Spanish people, and you consistently see this overall uglification of the characters. And we see this with also Caucasian characters as well, but I think it's even more prominent when it comes to black African female characters, because it's more stated, where it's just obvious, okay, this is the standard of beauty they want representing these cultures, and it's something that's absolutely hideous in some cases. In other cases, just not something we want to play as in a video gaming world, where video games are supposed to be an escape and fantasy, but now it's something to lock us into a mind frame and a set standard of living. And I think that's the case with modern video gaming design. When it comes to these characters, you just look at them and you're like, okay, it's not inspiring, and it's more reminiscent of people we see in modern day life, but I'm playing games not to be trapped in modern day life. And I think we hear this from developers when they talk about the situation when it comes to the character designs in relation to black female characters, where even if you try to pitch an idea of having a beautiful black female character, it's immediately shot down. You hear this from Del Walker, a person that worked for Naughty Dog, Insomniac Games, Respawn Games, where they talked about trying to propose beautiful female characters, and eventually it de-evolves into an older grandma type of character or auntie character that has no femininity, no beautifying characteristics. And I think this is part of the grinding philosophy that we're seeing of political progressive thought within the video gaming industry. It's not exclusive to black female characters, but it's just more noticeable to me because you rarely get a black female character, and when you did, it usually was a fantastically designed and interesting black female character. And this is not me complaining about the lack of these characters, because black women are only 7% of the population. I don't expect them to be littered all over the place in gaming, especially in the time where I was playing games, but now they are littered everywhere and all designs are ugly. And I think that's a great missed opportunity there, because in the past when we got great black female character designs, they were stunning. Of course, I'm talking about Resident Evil 5 and Shiva. She was one of the best character designs I've saw of a black woman in gaming, right next to Tanya. And I think this is the thing that we want to see in gaming, where you get these beautiful representations of characters that kind of exceed the standard that we see in reality and go above and beyond that. Of course, people are going to say these are light skinned, this colorism, especially people that are within that political progressive mind frame. They're always thinking about color. And I think they go back to that basic thing where, okay, you only like light skinned beautiful black women. I'm like, no, you can have dark skinned beautiful black women too. And you can just go back to Del Walker in his statement where he used an example of a beautiful dark skinned black woman that would have been perfect in the game environment. This is a girlfriend of a soccer player. This is a perfect representation of a darker skinned beautiful black women, and there's many representations in games as well. And I think when you have this mentality of everything being some racial civil war or some civil war for different standards within society, I think you get down to this almost socialistic thinking where everything must be brought down to an equity level where everything has to be the same. When the loud minority demand everything to be ugly, that becomes the majority voice. And I think we see that within the gaming industry, demanding everything be de-beautified and removed of its quality and essence to match their modern standards they have set within society. And I think that's not what gaming is here for. It's to break away into the fantasy world. If you have that modern day beauty standard you want to set, don't call the people that don't want to play these games racist or bigots or misogynists. They just don't want to play as the ugly character design you set out when they're heading out to play some fantasy games. So I think this is the sad part of the situation when it comes to these political, progressive, social thoughts that have invaded the video gaming industry, where there's no beautiful black female characters anymore. Of course, there's no beautiful any characters, especially when it comes to female designs nowadays, because most female designs of characters are made to be ugly. You can have this comparison of Mary Jane. We all saw this comparison in the past, but it's even more so with multiple character designs that we see being played out within the industry. And I think that's the situation we have now, where everything is ugly now. And I'm just kind of lamenting what they did to a lot of the black female characters, because I think they get it even worse than some of the white female characters. And I think that's the situation I see with a lot of these black female characters, where the exaggeration of their features are so much so where I'm like, dang, okay, you don't really have to go that far with the designs, where it becomes something that is almost stereotypically unattractive and unappealing, at least to the broad-based audience. I think that's just the thing I find radioactive about the modern video gaming industry nowadays, where it's doing things almost in a way where it's trying to bring it to the lowest common denominator. It's fine to have these characters here or there, but you don't have to remove the beauty characteristics within the industry. There's plenty of very stunning and beautiful black female models to choose from out there. You can just look online. There's many examples that you can find and see, and just use them as an example, as a character, or hire them as models. I think that's the thing that I find aggravating with some of the things that we're seeing within the industry nowadays, where it's just avoiding these characteristics that we see all over the world, all over the modeling industry, and replacing it with designs that just are not in line with the fantasy genre, or to appeal to the broad-based market that is looking for these designs. And I think it's just in poor representation of what we expect to see within these type of creative efforts. And I think that's just the thing that I dislike about the situation in gaming, where we're just getting the lowest common denominator, and it's being done and forcefully within the industry. And it's kind of sad that the few representations we have are now just inundated with the poor representations that a lot of people want to hold as the standard. And I think we need to set our standards higher, and that's what I'm hoping to see in the video gaming industry. But it's sad to see that black beauty has kind of been banned in the industry now, and it seems like even the person that stated this online was told to keep silent about it. And I think that is just showing the sad state of affairs within the video gaming industry. I'm hoping it changes a little in the future, but you tell me what you think about the situation. I just want to talk about it because I just thought about some new character designs that we're seeing from Concord. I'm like, it just keeps getting worse and worse, some of these black female character designs, and I'm thinking, will we ever reach a bottom? It seems like that might be the case with Concord, but I'm hoping we get to see some better designs in the future. But you leave your comments, tell me what you think. Like, share, comment, subscribe. This is Wagner Knows Why. Catch you next time.